Want to give thanks to all of my friends here that are coming on live. You know, right now I might want to play a little bit of music in the background, but I think that we need to have copyright. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into a few messages of the Star Seed Oracle. This is Yahira Lobos. Today is June 14th, 2023. And I am also known as Francine DeGiorgio. I'll put in the comments how you can find me on my website, how you can find me on TikTok and Instagram, on Facebook. And I am here as an Oracle 30 years. I've been going live for the last couple on and off. I am on the hero's journey myself, a neurodivergent woman who got a really huge wake up call upon being awoke my whole life. It was like one layer after another. And in 2012, I received a message from Great Creator on how to clean up my life and get on that road to the great purification as we are in a prophetic time. We are fulfilling many prophecies around the globe. It's not, for me, about religion. For me, it's about coming into the sacred heart and giving value to the gift of life that I am here. I am here on Gaia, Mother Earth, and I am connected to all that there is through the divine source of all that there is. And as I work in the medicine wheels, I've been building rainbow medicine wheels. It'll be 10 years this year that I was invited in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I was living for about 17 years at the time, where I met three elders and I was invited into the sacred circle. When there was a protocol of no hierarchy. And so we facilitated ceremony, calling in the seven directions and bringing in our sacred prayers of the heart for the globe, for ourselves, and for each other. And as I am given that name in 2015, Yahira, it came through a star seed transmission through Miriam, a sound healer that travels around the globe. You may know her. Can't think of her last name, but Miriam is also a Reiki healer. And she was doing a sound healing, a star seed transmission to receive our original birth name from the beginning of time. And I, Francine DeGiorgio, when I was born in 1971, I knew that I wasn't just of this world. I've had 7 near life death experiences, and I've journeyed a lot on plant medicines. And I've been through a lot of trauma, a lot of experiences that caused me to be alone for long periods of time, to be ostracized and not really of society in the 3D world. My story, my birth story, is different. But in 2012, I had another wake up call, and I started to follow that voice around the United States, which eventually led me to Miriam. In 2015, I received that name, Yahira, which I was given a transmission when I heard the name. It's a guided meditation, and she's using sound bowls. And there was a moment where we're allowing, you know, a name to come. And when I was to hear it, I would know it or I wouldn't. And when she said my name, Yahira, Yahira, we remember you. We love you. We've been waiting to speak to you for a long time. I felt her not making this up, but I felt the ancientness of my soul come alive and online, and like in this world, in a way that was so powerful that my whole body just shook. You can't fathom not knowing what to experience and then having that experience, but my body just shook and it resonated through and through, tears of remembrance, of joy, of connection, of feeling loved and complete and whole. And so with that being said, I am Yahira Lobos. Lobos, being the wolf that I am, is my spirit guide of within. The wolf came to me in 1995, and I've been so blessed in New Mexico. I was actually living in Los Angeles, Redondo Beach, California in 2007. I left Santa Fe for a couple of years to have the experience of being on the ocean. But then I was called to the Jemez Mountains and I got to meet my first three wolves. And Kisses was one, I remember. And then I eventually got to own my own wolf. And she's like right now lying down. I wish I could take the computer and make you see her. And I don't really have a picture of her right here, but I will say I've been surrounded by dogs my whole life. I raised the Winston clan, Sunshine Daisy Dukes, all those that know me back in New York and South Carolina, where I also lived for a while. I grew up in New York. People know me to have Sunshine and Daisy Dukes, Sun Puff and Coyote. And I was well known for traveling around North America. But my wolf spirit guide, I am Wolf. I am teacher. I am master teacher, paving a new way for my people because we are the people. I believe in having the courage and the heart of Wolf, being loyal, dedicated to the family, youth, and children. I literally am in the south direction of the medicine wheel right now, governing and nourishing myself and family that I love with children and mother, father examples next door to me, and my partner and I raising a wolf and a Mastiff Hound, two twins, um, two twin sets. We have two babies, two whuppies. It's a little cute community where I live, and we are we are a pack of wolves here. But I am the one that has been looking for solutions for my people, as I've been bringing solutions for those that are neurodivergent. I was diagnosed in 2013 with actually being bipolar with PTSD, but it was a misdiagnosis. Surpriser. The Southwestern Behavioral System in Santa Fe, New Mexico wasn't exactly the bee's knees, boo. And I can tell you that all around North America, I lived in 6 states, and all of the actual facilities that offer Medicaid, that offer counseling, it's great to have somebody to talk to. I was so grateful to have all those therapists, to be honest with you. If that was the best that God could give me, I was so grateful for the people that showed up at these jobs where I bet they didn't get treated so well and they didn't get paid so well. But I was really grateful to have counseling for my entire life since I was like 12. So they didn't really have the best form of therapies, and I didn't really get diagnosed properly. I do suffer from PTSD, but childhood PTSD is complex. It's from having many, many, many traumatic events. And I was born backwards, so that's the first one. Any child born backwards, I had two broken ribs. I was born in the city of suffering. And I used to tell everybody as a joke, like fucking around smoking crack when life wasn't good, like I was born in suffering and I've been suffering ever since. And it was like a motto of mine for the first 40 years of my life till I got sober in 2012 when I had that wake up call. And that wake up call was a brutal beatdown with the NYPD. It was like a wake up call to quit using drugs on and off my life, and I knew that I was gifted. I knew that I was an oracle. I knew that I had came here to end human suffering. I knew that I came here to live a better life. As a wolf, in 1995, when I was living in South Carolina, that was the beginning of my journey. And I was only 23 years old. But I started to receive the downloads and the visions of like the prophecies, and nobody told me nothing. I am one of the ones that are probably going to start to emerge and tell our stories. I truly believe that we're all the 144, the 144,000 light workers that are to come from all walks of life, the bird tribe, so to speak. If you ever read that book, Return of the Bird Tribe, it's kind of like my Bible. But I don't believe in religion. I believe in the prophecies of all of us coming together to unify for the higher good of all, and to consider all life as sacred, and to come into truth and justice for all. And how would we do that is by healing thyself from all of our intergenerational trauma, from all of our trauma, And as I got diagnosed with CPTSD, it was from childhood trauma that's been not only passed down from my mother and father, but from generations before. When I looked into the history of my own lineages, and it's 444, I saw that I am one of the ones that's chosen to end the cycles of abuse and mental illness, drug addiction, and alcoholism. And in 2012, I took on the feat of discovering who I really am. I returned back to New Mexico after living in New York for 2 years, after living in New Mexico for 15 years. I was traveling around ever since I was a kid looking for the right answers to find out who I really was and how to really birth a new earth, come into the Sacred Heart and to really honor all life as sacred. At 444, I want to give thanks to all of my benefic guides and Yeshua, Yahweh, for the protection and love and success that is coming into all of our lives, that are doing the best that we can to emerge as the light and to heal thyself by taking action, by moving forward. We are so grateful for all of the angels, that Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael. We give thanks to Archangel Uriel. We give thanks to White Buffalo Woman. We give thanks to Saint Germain and Holy Amethyst. We give thanks to Kuan Yin and Buddha, Ganesha, Hari Krishna, Rama Rama. We give thanks to all of the Kachinas, Mother, Father, Enforcer, Brow Face, Grandmother. And we give thanks to Morning Singer. And I have up top the Buffalo Warrior. And, oh, you can't see. I got to move this. Buffalo Warrior and Blue Star. Blue Star, they're emerging. Hey, and I want to give thanks to, all of our benefic guides and ancestors that are here, both interdimensional, galactic. We are multidimensional beings, and Yahira Lobos was that galactic name that was given to me. I've been on a mission, guys, for my entire life to figure out exactly how and who and what, how to bring in a lot more harmony and healing. And so I've been on this journey. In 2015, when Miriam gave me that name, Yahira Lobos, I knew that it was time for me to really step into that galactic version of who I am, which is why I'm choosing to read the Starseed Oracle today. And so what I'm going to say is that I'm awakening every morning to doing a ceremony, a medicine wheel ceremony. I facilitate rainbow medicine wheel ceremonies. In 2013, when the three elders introduced me to the medicine wheel, we did it in a good way. And in 2018, I was guided to go to Taos and build a medicine wheel. I asked all of the landowners and the festival owner of Tribal Vision, and I got a yes. I got a yes from the ancestors. I got a yes from Great Creator. And it was like a demand day. You have to go. Mission, all of you who are out there that are grid workers, that if you do things in a good way, in a sacred way, and your intentions are good, that good things can happen. And those of us that are doing grid work, that are bringing in the sacred codes of light, because we remember who we are, because we are the wise ones that are back. We are the 144 remembered. I believe that we're all the 144, but not everybody is awakened or awoken to the birthright of who they really are. Since we've all been programmed and we've all been brainwashed, all of humanity has had that birthright taken from them. And Yahira Lobos got diagnosed with, CPTSD, PTSD, whatever the frick they wanted to call it. And I went on the road bringing consciousness and awareness, breaking stigmas about what mental illness is. That was a label that I did not take on. I was surprised when the spiritual community and a lot of people around my life kind of abandoned me when I stood on stage to tell my life story in 2013, October 13th. Yahira Lobos stood on stage and she rose to the challenge of telling my story of how my life was affected, being a little viva la loca my whole life. And it wasn't until I got sober that I started to get normal, but I wasn't really in 2013. I was very ungrounded and confused and devastated, heartbroken. And I didn't really know on a level that made me feel good so that I could be successful who I was. So the journey that I traveled around North America is one for the books. I'm writing a book about it. I'm going to be doing a monologue next year. It's going to be hitting the stages. I'm really excited. I'll tell everybody about it towards the end of the year. We're probably going to have a surprise show here in Phoenix. The Phoenix will rise. Hero Lobos is looking for 6 other speakers right now. So there's a great incentive that I have to finally tell the story of not only what I just went through. By the way, my life story is part of the prophecy. It's part of many other global leaders, visionaries, and even those that I ran on the street with from New York to LA to the 505 Mother Lovers. I represent the street, you know what I'm saying, and those that ain't got nothing. I've been around the world and I I saw a lot of babies, and I saw a lot of different people and cultures. I was the one woman who was invited to sit and break bread with every different kind of human being out there, every culture, every religion, just every kind of genre, economic status, people that were talented and gifted to people that were struggling and hurting, to people that were disabled and dysfunctional, to people that were highly genius and spiritual. I had quite the motley crew, and I was a glutton my whole life for the underdog. So everywhere I went, I represented, defended, sat with many people, held many people in my arms my entire life. I've been a channel, and that's part of the story about who Yahira Lobos really is. She is not just Francine DeGiorgio. She is so much more. And I'm here to tell the story, not just about myself, but the journey that I took is the hero's journey. And it's the story that is here to light mother lovers up. And yo, I got a lot of power. I got a lot of gusto. I got a lot of wisdom. I got a lot of funny. I got a lot of rhyme. I'm ready to like throw down. For a long time in the spiritual community, when I was traveling, I was really humble. I didn't really remember who I was. I was paying restitution. I was a volunteer. I worked for free. I coordinated the transformational music and art festivals. I put on events. I put on retreats. I promoted all people, places, and things. I took in the masses in my apartment in Santa Fe. Some people might say that I was codependent and that I needed. Man, that's a lot of projection that I got from the spiritual community in general. Some of us have an incredible story. We're not here to be bypassed or gaslit anymore. The 144, those of us that were gaslit for being the prophets and the messengers and to be the light. There were many people that were traveling amongst the circles and the parties and the festivals and the events, whether it was political or economical or educational or even in the medical fields. And every sector, every system around the world. And I could tell you, baby, that we had our angels, we had our witnesses, we had those who could see, and everything was recorded in her story. And we are a part of the Akashic Records. And as we are having this conversation with all that there is, we are the pillars of the light of truth that are reversing all of the corruption, all of the lies, all of the brainwashing, all of the programming. It is I, Francine DeGiorgio, the very DNA of my body, the essence of my voice, my eyes, my ears, my humanness in the 3D-ness that actually is becoming alive multidimensionally. We're so much more than we ever knew we were. And that's not just some words from the stars and those that have left us with wisdom in the books. Barbara Marx Hubbard was one of my heroes, and she passed away just recently. I met her. I was fortunate at a rise in Colorado in 2000, I believe, 17. I met Barbara Marx Hubbard. Not only did I meet her, I was part of a panel where she was a speaker, and her panel was, we could be so much more in consciousness. And it was about evolution in consciousness. And I was able to ask her a question. I'm still going to have to hunt down the recording because I was able to stand up. It's funny, I kept raising my hand to be to ask a question, and somebody came into the room, and it felt like they were negating me being called upon. I'm like literally raising my hand. They kept asking for questions, and for some reason, this woman wouldn't. She just wouldn't call upon me. But you know how it is. The 144 that really is here to take the rose-colored glasses off and actually show up. You know, I was vulnerable. I was authentic. I was in my middle age as a woman by myself. I didn't have a home crew with me to have back. I showed up at these events vulnerably. And always when I showed up at really important panels where there were innovators and future thinkers and spiritual leaders, sometimes there was somebody around. It was like an energy that wanted to attack me or negate me or block my shit. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually gaslight me. And so this woman didn't want to call me, but it was Barbara Marx Hubbard, and I had a burning itch to be called upon. And the next thing I know, boo, is that this man behind me totally stood up and said, "Hey, this woman's been screaming, raising her hand, wanting to ask Barbara a question. Let her." And everybody was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Because I want you all to know about the star seeds. The galactic brothers and sisters of the light have our back. And so I'm going to bring in a message right now with all that being said. Call upon great creator of all that there is, bringing in the divine light, bringing in Yahweh, Yeshua, Archangel Michael, thanking you. All of my benefic guides, Arcturian, Pleiadian, Syrian, Adronima, Ophiuchus. May all of my benefic guides come and be with me now. And bring in the messages that is needed for all beings that are here now and that will come safely in the future. Let's open up our hearts with the sacred breath. Let's connect in, feeling the beats of our heart with our right hand, the receiving hand of the masculine energy, placing our left hand over the right hand, representing our receiving feminine energy. Give and receive, breathe. Calling in all of our benefic guides and ancestors to be with us now in the Sacred Heart. As we are here on Earth, what are the messages for us here on Earth? How do we live our best life here on Earth? No matter how interdimensional, multidimensional we are, how can we reach to be the best that we are before we return back to the stars, back to Earth? Bringing in truth and justice, love and light and healing, giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks to the Kachinas behind me, bringing in the sacred law, giving thanks. Blessing this water, giving thanks to great creator, giving thanks to Pachamama. Bless this water with truth, clarity, justice, healing, and protection. Aho and ahe. Oh, so good. For clarity, we're going to bring in from Rebecca Campbell and Danielle Noel, the Starseed Oracle. So So let's just do this right now. What messages do we have from our star brothers and sisters, for all those that are here? What are the messages for us right now? What do we need to pay attention to? I have 2 cards for the first question. What do we need to do to be the best that we are here on earth? What do we need to focus on? What do we need to pay attention to? Woo. What do we need to continue to heal? Okay. And what will bring the best outcome for us all? What will bring the best outcome? Okay. So what's really great, hold on. Okay. So the messages that I have for what is it that we need to know right now, this is the star family, to be the best that we are here on earth. We have a message from our star family. You're part of the team of souls. Oh, that's good news, because we are. And it's saying to call in support from your star family. At some stage, we are each part of a soul cluster, a gathering of souls who broke away from one another to experience them individually. There are those who are part of your soul cluster. These are beings that are actually part of your family. Your star family are those souls that are cut from a common cloth, those that you really just resonate. It feels like, we've been together for lifetimes. Those people. Like our souls were actually one. I've traveled around the United States, and there were people that I hugged that I just felt at oneness with. And such comfort and sometimes fuzzy, warm feelings. And it was just giddy and laughing. It's very common for star family members to incarnate at similar times, to work with anchoring a similar frequency of light and to cross paths with each other. You know that somebody's part of your soul family when you feel like you know them and you remember them from the moment you met them. So what do you think this is the same? Who do you think is from the same star family as you? And how can you call upon them for support? So the question I asked the Star Oracle was, what advice do you have for us for being here on Earth now? And what they're saying is find your star family and call in the support, because we're going to need it, booze. And this is true. In the last few years, a lot has been falling away, and we have had the breakups of our lifetime, deaths, loss, a lot of grief, a lot of change, a lot of transition. We're in a transition. We are building the bridge to the new earth right now. And for us to do that, we need to find our soul family, our star family, those that really feel like bliss, like you could just be yourself, like you could laugh for hours, those people that you really feel comfortable and safe with, those people that you could tell your whole life story and never feel judged, those people that will have your back in a heartbeat, those people that will never, ever question you when you're down and out, just soul family. And the second card is, knowing right now. How else can we be here on this earth? So, one, find your star family, and the other, know that you're not for everyone. Oh my G. I get this freaking card all the time. I'm like, why do you have to be so mean, great creator? And it's not like that. It's like this. It's like, yo, boo. How much you know, boo? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much you know? You know, how aware are you? How conscious are you? What are you doing? What are you creating? How are you operating? How are you manifesting? What do you know to be truth and wisdom and reality? And how many are living in delusional illusions? And so it's really, we're not for everybody. I could tell you that as a veil lifter, you don't want to talk to me. I'm just going to point out everything that's bullshit. And I might be all happy and high vibration, and I might be how I'm speaking right now, actually, is the way that I grew up. My personality from New York. It's not that I'm in my ego, it's just a personality thing. It's a way of expressing myself to get a point across. It's the way I chose to be. All of the people in the world that are telling me how to behave and how to be spiritual or connected, that's a bunch of BS. So, anyway, you're not for everyone is the message. Got it. And then the message was, what do we need to focus on right now? And I got this beautiful card that says, Inner Earth, you'll survive this. There's new solutions and there's new beginnings happening right now, coming towards us. So here's, am I going to, um, okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Here it is. Inner Earth, also known as Argatha. Argatha is believed to be a hidden subterranean world within the planet itself, and many ancient cultures mention it in their stories. It's said that some of these beings of ancient lost lands, such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Arvyavarta, went there. Hindu and Celtic lore mention caves and entrances to underground worlds. Tibetan Buddhism refers to the secret mystical city Shambhala, which is thought to be located in the Himalayas. Many have searched for inner earth in the physical world, but without success. Oops, sorry. Let's get this like that. Okay. Many have searched for inner earth in the physical world, but without success. So the mystery continues. Is it a place that exists in the physical or on another level of consciousness? There are solutions beyond what you can perceive, surprising outcomes to your problems and solutions, resolutions that are in the best interest of all involved. If you find yourself facing an obstacle or feeling stuck and you have no idea what to do, then you're being reassured right now that there is a way out. Yay, there's a way out. You'll survive this and things are going to work out. If you're stuck in a rut, do something to shake up the energy and shift your thinking. Try something that you wouldn't normally do, and soon that you'll see a whole new world of solutions are available. Things that were things that were previously beyond your focus will present themselves. Helpful people, signs from the universe, support in expected and unexpected ways are all going to be coming on their way to you. But first, you need to do something different to shift your focus so that you could receive them. So, what could you do to shift your focus or your energy? So, that's so cool. Like, I think of in a perfect example, like I could only take it to me, but I've been stuck and on a thing that I don't want to be stuck on, and I don't want to think about it. I don't want to be a part of it, or literally I want to move on. So recently, I have been getting out of that rut by just getting on my bike, listening to different music, getting rid of things I don't need, getting clutter out of the way, setting up a creative outlet space, gardening, starting to eat healthy, or preparing to eat healthy again. I eat once a day, and those people who eat once a day, we're fasting. I eat literally like every sometimes 30 hours a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm good. They call us intermediate fasters, but I'm not trying to fast. It's just natural. I've been doing this since 2020. Anyway, just wanted to say that what we can focus on right now is shaking up the energy of that stagnation. If you keep thinking about the same people, the same problems, the same situation, if you're if you're doing self negative talk, if there's a loop or a recorder that's going around and around and around in your head that doesn't sound good, that isn't for you, then turn it off, get on a bike, go to a gym, go on a hike, join a paint class, join a different kind of class, pick up a book about science if you're always into spirituality, or take a golf course lesson if you've never been in sports, take a dance lesson. Just do something different. Dancing shakes up the energy, so does singing, and anything physical where you sweat. So I wish you all good luck on focusing on taking a step to shift out of stagnation. You're going to have to make the first move, okay? And there's always a place of inner earth that we can go to find those solutions, to meditate, to go to, and to bring them back to surface. Okay. Then the other message about what we needed to focus on was the messenger. This was Sirius energy. I'm from Sirius, and bringing harmony and balance is the message. Yay! And here's the message. Who's my puppy? I have my puppies come home. Sirius energy. It's serious. So you're part of a star lineage of souls who have dedicated their lifetimes to the upliftment of Mother Earth, Gaia. To return in time and time again to see the light. That's what we're doing. We are the crystalline ones, the ones who were here to plant the sacredness of life back in, to honor both the sacred feminine and the masculine, to usher deep reverence back in. Many ascended masters are thought to be connected to the energy of Sirius, often appearing to be as a shade of blue. They hold the frequency of pure love and are here to help the masculine and feminine exist in harmony, to ensure greater balance, to help us see that we're connected and that the masculine and feminine energies exist within us all. You're being called to bring about the balance and harmony between the masculine and the feminine, to be a garden of harmony and balance on earth. Think of the whales traveling around the globe, sharing love through their healing vibrational song. Their unique notes send balance and harmony to every corner of the planet. A rebalancing of the masculine and the feminine is occurring worldwide. It's a resurgence of the sacred within us all, a returning of the sacred union within, a rekindling of heaven and earth. You can only begin to bring harmony and balance by creating it within your own life. The ripples will flow from there. You can honor and balance the sacred masculine and feminine energies within yourself and others. Now, you are being called to bring harmony to your life on this planet. So, how are you going to bring harmony here on this planet right now? We are calling all star seeds to plant the seeds of light. We are the grid workers that are working the crystalline grid from the heavens to the grid of earth. And we are the ones that are here that are bringing the messages to remind us of who we really are. Remember, we've been planting these seeds of light for millions of years, and we keep coming back, and we know that we're reincarnated souls, those of us that are part of the bird tribe, the 144,000 light workers that are here, that are part of the prophecies, whether it's the Mayan or the Hopi, the Kogi, or any one of the ancient, beautiful indigenous tribes' prophecies. We are here to find a way to protect what is sacred here on earth. We've been knowing that the extraterrestrials have been wanting to harvest our energy. And what we call our relatives, they call resources. So the oxygen, the trees, the chemical trails, the fires, the water, the pipelines, we need to protect our planet. There's been agendas that were against our water very soil of our land. And they have taken our children and have brainwashed us and programmed all of us. And now there are some that are here on earth that are wanting to bring forth the truth. It's not necessarily about the us and them and the separation, although that's what we are speaking of, the dark cabal, the Luciferian matrix that is maybe the dark agenda to harvest energy from this planet that is coming from the innocent souls of men, women, and children, harvesting energy through our hearts, through grief, through loss, and harvesting our minerals, our resources. There are planets that do not have water, and there is life on every planet. And, there's things beyond Gaia and disclosure, and there's been censorship and the deaths of many. And we're expecting Hollywood to come forth. And as many of the actors are going to step forward, this is what has happened in history. Many who have gone before us that have been sacrificed, if you would, did it to be able to tell the story, the truth, when the time was come for all of humanity to be ready to hear it. We've been awakening. Since I've been born here on earth, this world has already been in a transformation. My elders, those have before me in the 7 generations, I want to say thank you. I respect you. I honor you. In this lifetime, if you're older than me, I really respect you just for paving a new way, because many have suffered so much. And if you're not part of the 1%, you have suffered a great deal. There are many people who were close to figuring out the meaning of life, the secret of life, the cover-up, the brainwashing, the programs, the technology that's been used against us as warfare. And those people have been murdered and put away. The disclosure is here for all beings. It's taken many of us to come forward and speak truth. I myself shared at the beginning of my story. For those of us that claimed being neurodivergent, those that did not want us to come back into our sacred healing and groundedness, they're pissed right now. People like myself, many of them, I have already seen leave this planet in a not good way, an unfortunate, sad way. I buried many of my friends and family, not only from diseases, but from suicide and drug overdoses. I experienced death in my family from my mother, who left me when I was 9 years old. And she was a Mexican, beautiful Indian woman who grew up in Texas and then New York City. My parents were estranged from their own cultures and families, and they grew up with a lot of shame and guilt for being who they were. I could have learned 2 different languages, but they were so ashamed I don't know any. And that's unfortunate, that we come from different cultures, and that just because we have different skin or different way of living, different belief systems, that we're at war with people. And the other reason why we've been at war with people is for things that are known as our resources. The plants, the trees, the minerals, those are beings to me. Those are my relatives. And they are sacred. This earth is sacred. Gaia is sacred. And we are here to plant the seeds of light. And what you need to focus on right now is to be the light. And some of us may not be here forever. All of us will do what we can. We say that we're going to birth a new earth where sacrifices will have to come to an end. But in true reality, there's duality on this planet, the light and the dark. And what everybody's going to get over is the darkness. They're going to learn how to sit in it and be still and get the downloads that Creator Source has for you. The mechanics and the technology of our DNA is so much more than they want you to know. So find out about the truth of who you really are. You're a miracle. You're a gift. And they didn't want us to know this. If you look at my YouTube, I started in 2016. Part of my story is that I have been representing, connecting, promoting, coordinating. Oh, I've given thousands of oracle readings away for free and crystals. And I don't say that as a martyr, like I got an attitude. I did it because that was like I paid my restitution. I knew that I wasn't good enough. That's the truth. I didn't feel good enough. I was insecure. I was still traumatized. You know, I had just gotten sober in 2012. So do you really think I was ready to be a spiritual leader in 2015? The people that say that they are not. And I'm not here to be a spiritual leader either. I'm here to bring truth and justice. My name, Francine, means to be free. And truth and justice will set our people, humanity, Gaia, Mother Earth, and all of her living relatives free. And if you're not aware of the other extraterrestrial energies that are about us that want to take over this planet, that's why there's so much tragedy and trauma with the elements being attacked, like the chemical trails, the GMOs in our soil, the cows that have been killed, the farms that have been bought by the elite and burned in California. Are you aware of all the things that are happening in the world where they're trying to destroy mass amounts of our trees and resources? They're trying to fuck up our air. And why? So this planet is being sought after. And so we ask all of you that are on the ground to focus on the messenger right now and to remember that you're the light and you need to plant those seeds of light. So speak the truth, question everything, use discernment, birth all of your new earth visions, become sustainable, heal thyself, stand in your power, and know thyself. This is justice for all. And what I ended up bringing out was activated earth, power places, ley lines, and trust where you're led to. What will ensure our best future? This is the card that I pulled. Hi, baby. That's beautiful.
That was right.
It is. Can I have it?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to show my friends. Look at that. Labradorite.
Sure.
What a nice big gift. Right here, right now. Right here. Thanks, babe. That's beautiful. Talk about making medicine on that, huh? So the message here was the activated earth, you know, and this is what will ensure our best future. I'm almost done here. And this is the message. Ley lines are invisible pathways on the land along which energy travels. They can be sensed when we tune into them without our subtle senses. Also known as our spirit paths, they have been compared to the meridian system of the body used in Chinese medicine, and they link sacred sites, stone circles, burial mounds, and places of worship worldwide. I mean, I build medicine wheels, and don't you think that that's awesome? Look at that. That's Stonehenge, an activated portal. Oh my goodness. In Australian Aborigine culture, songlines were the paths traveled by the creator beings as they made the land and sea during the dreaming. These paths were recorded in traditional songs and dances of the people, allowing them to access information about the land's history and to travel safely across great distances. Many believe that as we visit such sacred points on earth, something is activated within us. Some also believe that by connecting with the land with devotion at these sacred places, something is activated within the planet too. Are you being called to travel to a sacred place that your soul remembers, or to tend the land to live on, to honor and acknowledge the known and unknown keepers of nature, spirits of the land? As you connect with the earth and honor its keepers, its land opens up more fully to hold you. The fruits provide more nourishment, and the guardians watch over you. I honor and thank the keepers of the earth beneath me, known and unknown. Thank you for your nourishment and tender holding. So we can say that sacred prayer to Pachamama. What a beautiful card to ensure our best future. Where are you being called to? What sacred sites are you being called to? Are you a grid worker? Do you know that you're a crystalline star seed? Are you being called to Egypt, to Peru, to Costa Rica, to France? Are you being called to Canada? Are you being called to the rivers, the oceans, the caves? Are you being called to the Hopi land? Are you being called to Sedona? Are you being called to the rock formations? Are you being called to the sacred circles and portals around the globe? What is calling you? And find a good way to get there. And trust in all good things happening when you do. For this is for the land and for you. This is for the conscious collective. We awaken our DNA more and more as we travel, as we connect, as we interrelate. We raise our vibrations with that acknowledgement, with that consciousness, with the exchange of others' energy. We become wiser, more whole, more healed, giving thanks. And then for the last card was what else would ensure our best future? Two cards came out. This is the weight of the world, boundaries. Let it go. It is not yours to carry. I feel like that's a personal message right now. And I'll use an example of that in a second. I want to just carry in the message. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty, bogged down with the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, and to put on your own oxygen mask first. And in these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet, but you can't take on the problems from a place of energetic depletion. That's the truth. This card is a thanking you. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way that you've been doing so is very unsustainable. This isn't to say that you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. No, we're not saying to ignore. It's a call to establish clear boundaries so that you're not constantly taken out energetically. This planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching out for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing place such as meditation, soul, inquiry, deep breathing, exercise, and nature first. And then once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, after you've eaten, showered, then you can start your day and face it, you know. Right now, the big question is, what are you carrying right now that's not yours? Right now, the world's kind of in a disarray, and there's a lot of horrible things that are happening in the news and in real lives, communities. We're aware, okay? But there are also incredible things happening. Today, I was led to have a conversation with an elder that I don't know well, but I respect all of my elders. And this one has traveled and has medicine and wanted me to contemplate something today that just was way bigger than me. And, I'm not that big, like I connect to source, but I'm not trying to save the whole world. I'm not trying to take the weight of the whole world on my shoulders. There are some really big things going on out there. There's some really big dragons out there too, bigger than you and me, and there are some things that are going on in the world that I don't personally feel that it's my responsibility to take on. Be very aware that there are people that might want to ask you to take on something that is not yours. And it's sometimes not meant to come off sneaky, but it is. It's manipulative, especially if people are compromised and they don't know that they're hosting thought forms and energies that are not of the light, that have ulterior motives that move through you. We say that we're the hollow bone. Sometimes what comes in that hollow bone ain't right. It ain't right, child. It ain't right. Okay. And so, I'm just going to tell you it ain't right, child. Okay. It ain't right. So I'm just going to say that we need to be aware that there are these bigger things that are happening in the world, and that we got to do the best to play our part out. And since we're all going to die one day anyway, why not live out your life doing what you want for yourself, taking care of you first before you try to save the world and somebody else? And so that's what I'm going to land out on here. It's 55 over here minutes, and I'm so grateful for all beings. Want to give thanks to all those that will come on in the future. We give thanks to all of our divine benefic guides and ancestors. I now release all of the energy back to the source to be loved, transmuted, and healed. In the comments, I will offer how to get in touch with me to book a reading. I am $70 to $144. Slide and scale. PayPal is at pufferellas.yahoo.com. We want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Oi, oi.